Hey guys, welcome back. I am here today to read you another piece of poetry from my book, I Can't Sleep. If you're like me and you like doodling as you write, this book from Indigo is perfect. I filled it out in, I think, a month. Just the paper is so nice to write on. My cat is pulling the blanket from the other end. This is Craig. He loves me. So he'll probably be sitting with us for the duration of this video because he needs a lot of attention. So I wrote this poem, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. It's not a very lengthy poem, not one of many words, but it is powerful to me and meaningful to me because I wrote it at the beginning of my relationship with my now husband. I don't know if anyone else is like me where you write a poem in a certain situation and then once that situation has evolved or changed, you go back and read your old poems about it. And I think it's very interesting, to say the least. I started writing this long before I had the idea of writing a book. I couldn't help but include it, so I'm just trying to find it now. So the poem that I'm going to be reading to you guys today is called Fate. I don't care what the flowers say, I will always love him. I don't care what the flowers say, I will create my own fate. Hey guys, sorry for interrupting the video. I just wanted to come on here and correct myself for what I was about to say. So essentially, when I wrote this poem about my husband, we had first started dating, and it's just explaining the differences in culture and religion that we face. He's from Afghanistan and him and his family are Muslim. So we have different cultures and different religious beliefs. And I don't feel like I explained that well in the original video that I said, so I just wanted to come back on here and correct myself. But I know that in his culture, there are people who would probably rather see him with a Muslim woman or someone from the same background as him, who has the same religious views and the same opinions on things. At the beginning of my relationship, it was kind of one of those more difficult things to understand because it's not something that I've ever really had to face in my life because I have never dated anyone from a different culture. I don't know what the situation was when I wrote this poem. Like, I do remember the illustrations, I do remember creating it, but I don't know what was going on in my life at that time. But I can only think that it was a situation where I was faced with opposition and I just said, this is my life. I'm gonna make it out of it what I want, and I don't really care what anyone thinks about it. If you take a look here, as you probably saw in the beginning, it's about a girl and she's taking a wish flower and she's doing that he loves me not, but she's deciding to say, wait a minute, am I really gonna let a flower decide my fate of who I'm gonna be with? And then it's the guy on the other end taking the petals that she's throwing into the wind and gluing them to a flower stem, which is a bit bizarre but fitting, and he basically catches them and says, I'm gonna make my own fate. I'm gonna take these flowers that the person I love is throwing my way and I'm gonna be with that person despite anything else that could stand in the way. You know, I don't care if what the flowers say, I love him. So, you know, I don't care about what this person thinks of my relationship. I don't care about the hardship that we may go through. As a interracial couple, I'm gonna make it work because I care about this person and I love them enough to try and understand the differences rather than giving into what society thinks or giving into what people think about that. Going back to the theory of does she love me not, and not really caring about that, and, you know, just going out there, putting yourself out there and coming to your own conclusions, because you shouldn't wait for someone else to decide that for you or something else to decide that for you. It's definitely one of those ones where I look back from when I first wrote it and I think about how true this was and how true I still think it is now that I'm married. If you guys want to check out more of my writing in the meantime, just because I am posting a couple times a day on my Instagram and it's just poetry, I do write lifestyle as well. I do have a lifestyle blog, just basically about my life, what it's like to navigate through your 20s. And you can find that on my Twitter page, which I will pop up here for you to check out. It's just my first and last name. And then if you scroll down in my feed, you'll be able to find all the articles that I write. I post every weekday morning. And I also have linked on my Twitter my book that I'm writing called On to the Next One. It is a book that I started writing right around the same time as this one. Definitely right now my poetry is taking more of a step to the forefront when it comes to my publishing works. I think you can see up to 7 or 8 chapters live on my Wattpad account, which I have linked in the bio of my Twitter page. So that's it for me today. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I do appreciate all the love that you've been showing me on Instagram, and I can't wait for next Friday to share more with you guys.